Here with Jake Melville, junior quarterback. Jake, junior quarterback. I just said the words. Now an upperclassman. Feel like that's something leadership is kind of coming naturally to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially being a quarterback here, we're involved a lot in the run game, a lot in the pass play. There's a lot on our tray every time we go out on the field. So being a junior now, having some experience, leadership is definitely a very important part of that.
You do have experience. You played as a freshman and a sophomore. You started as a freshman and a sophomore, but not a ton of games. Still things to work on for you this spring.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I obviously haven't made it through a full season yet, but this spring really working on throwing on the run a little bit, maybe completing more of those deep balls. Some of those got away from me last year. So just working on the little things that will make us a better offense.
And what are your goals? You're about the halfway mark right now. What are your goals the rest of the time going into that spring game?
Well, going into the spring game, I'd say that, or going into spring practice, I'd say that the defenses kind of come out and push us around a little bit. So for the second half of spring ball, I think as an offense, our whole goal is to punch back a little bit, and ultimately win the spring game.
Here with senior defensive lineman Victor Steffen. Victor, a lot of familiar faces for you guys on the defensive line. I think you only lost one starter. So what does that do for spring practice as far as having everybody back?
Well, first of all, it's just already all tight-knit. Like doing install, it's like a couple minutes and say, hey, you guys remember how to do this? You remember that? Yep, good to go. So real quick installs, and now it's just focusing on playing faster within our techniques. We already know what's going on, so just play faster now.
Difference for you is now a senior, leadership role stepped up a notch.
Yeah, a little bit. I like it, though. It's kind of like the seniors team now. We get to make of it what we want. Kind of doing a couple different things, especially for summertime, recruiting a lot of the younger guys get up here for summer. We already got, I think, 48 guys signed up for apartments for summertime, so we're going to have a great spring and hopefully a better offseason.
And then, so talking about spring, halfway mark, I think, today. Looking ahead, what are your goals the rest of the spring practice?
Goals right now is basically for the defense, just keep playing fast like we've been doing. Maybe iron out a couple little wrinkles, but just speed, I think, is our key right now.
Here with Colgate head coach Dan Hunt. Coach, today I think halfway point of spring practice. How's it gone so far?
Yeah, right about the halfway point. It's going well. You know, it's been an interesting spring so far with the weather, and we've been able to get outside and get a lot of work done. And, you know, it hasn't been great conditions, but the kids have worked through it, and there's been no complaining. We get a nice night tonight, so I'm happy with where we're at right now. You know, the purpose of spring obviously is really to evaluate your younger personnel. And so we're able to take our time a little bit and watch some of the young kids perform and see if they can't step up to kind of fill some of the holes that we have due to graduation.
Is it also a time where your leadership kind of has foundation is formed?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I think, you know, your kids that are right now juniors see themselves as seniors for next year because that's what they'll be. So it's always interesting to see who kind of steps up and assumes those leadership roles. You know, obviously we have our two captains, and Victor and John, and they're doing a great job. But, you know, beyond that, I think there's kids that have shown, you know, that they're ready to kind of take that next step maturity-wise in leading the team and doing the right stuff off the field.
Like I said, around the halfway point right now, what are your goals for the second half of spring practice?
Well, as always, your first goal is to stay healthy. We've done a pretty good job of that. We've really stayed away from injuries, but we just want to continue improving. Obviously, you know, if I was to assess it so far at the halfway point, you know, I would say the defense is a little ahead of the offense, but that's how it is. You know, defense a lot of times, you know, you can make an offense look bad just by playing hard and running to the football, which is certainly something we do. And then offensively, you got to get your schemes in and you got to get everything together. And that the offensive package is starting to grow a little bit in the second half of spring here. So I think I'll see, you know, you should expect to see the offensive production kind of step up a little bit and get a little bit more rhythm going. But it's been good give and take, which is what you want to see as the head coach. You never want to see one side of the ball completely dominate the other because it is ultimately Colgate against Colgate. So it's good to see, you know, there's a lot of days where the defense is ahead and then the offense has to fight back and do it. And what we've been trying to do is put the kids in situations that are identical to key situations we had during the season this year and try to recreate the chance to make improvements. So I'm happy where we're at, and I'm happy we got halfway yet to go.
Spring game format, you expect that to be the same this year?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, obviously we don't have the numbers to divide the team in half and play a regular game, so we will do a scored offense versus defense scrimmage. I think the kids really liked it last year. I think with another year of understanding the format of it, they'll understand maybe a little bit of the strategy of it. And but it was good. I know the kids want to compete. They love when the scoreboard comes on, and it was fun last year, and we'll certainly do it again.